You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. We are on the march. The empire is on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Well, it's 4 o'clock Central Standard Time on this Sunday live worldwide broadcast. Already the 16th day. The 16th day, ladies and gentlemen, of November 2014. I know stations re-air the live show also at different times. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, Alex Jones. We'll be here for the next 2 hours, as we are every single Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Time. Don't forget the weekday show, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. as well, or the nightly news, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time as well. Where to begin? So many important stories. There's a report out in the London Independent that ISIS is actually 7 times bigger than what the CIA is saying. Well, you notice I've been saying it's 250,000 to 300,000 fighters since the beginning of the name change 6 months ago. Because ISIS is just the name of the al-Qaeda forces out of Saudi Arabia that have been attacking Syria for 4 years. So when they say ISIS is 16,000 or 25,000, that is absolute poppycock. This is a organized criminal operation funded by Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Turkey, and the West. NATO, Israel's involved. It's just a fact. See, I don't go where I want to go. I go where the facts are. And it's not hard to have these facts. This is all well known. But it's now in the news that the Curtis estimates are they're fighting 200,000. That's the London Independent. That is all coming up today. That's just one little tidbit. CIA weighs expanded role in ISIS fight. Got another stack of news here and a video I want to get to. Florida school children terrorized by police for their safety. It's on CBS News. Locally, police officers draw guns during unannounced active shooter drill and terrorize them. This isn't an accident. This is done nationwide. I want to decompartmentalize the police today and explain to them why they're doing this. It's not the mission they've been told. We're going to break that down as well. The news behind the news, the rest of the story. Vladimir Putin to leave G20 early after tense meeting with David Cameron. Cameron, when Putin walked over, said, I don't know if I'm going to shake your hand. I guess I will, but let me tell you one thing. You get out of Ukraine. This is how wars start. Imagine a Canadian that has no connection to Ukraine that's been half Russian forever. The West has overthrown the country. And now this guy waddles over and tells Putin, get out. This is thug level. You don't do that in diplomatic circles. This is unprecedented. And the Russians are leaving. And they've came to the G20 and said the gloves are off. As I've said, I don't sanctify, I don't lionize, I don't deify the Russians or Putin. But they're not the people trying to take my guns or sign me on to foreign derivatives packages in the trillions. They're not the ones surveilling me. The Russians are under attack. The Russians are being destabilized. The Russians have the West in there trying to overthrow and take their gas pipelines where they sell gas to Europe at low prices. I find no fault. Like Pontius Pilate, I said I don't compare them to Christ. No, he's certainly no devil, but he's certainly no Christ. But Vladimir Putin, they love to demonize a person. The larger issue here is Russia itself is not on the offense. And the West wants to conquer Russia just as they've conquered America. The globalists that have conquered the West want to conquer Russia. And that's just a fact. And so my North Star, my default is the truth. Does that mean the Russians haven't done horrible atrocities over the last 200 years to Ukrainians? That's really been a Germanic area before 200 years ago. Does that mean that Stalin didn't kill 10 million kulaks? No, I know the history. The point is they're getting along, and along comes George Soros to destabilize the country. We've got reporters in Ferguson with breaking news as well. Big news on Bill Cosby and more. Stay with us.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans, made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.
Severe riches and wisdom. So we have even right there.
What's his name?
This is an emergency transmission from FEMA Region 6 in occupied North America.
There is a war. It's happening now. It will decide the fate of humanity. The time to choose sides has come. We are the resistance. We are the InfoWar. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on this November 16th, 2014, Sunday worldwide broadcast. We'll be here for the next 2 hours. I am your host, Alex Jones. I want to open the phones up at the bottom of the hour on a host of news issues. And then at the bottom of the next hour, roughly an hour and 25 minutes from now, we will have Joe Biggs and Jakari Jackson, who are the folks that got the footage of the media being attacked, and they got shot with rubber bullets back during the last Ferguson blow-up. Well, they're saying that the grand jury tonight or tomorrow will decide whether the bill or no bill with an indictment of this police officer. And police departments across the country in major metro areas like Chicago, D.C., New York, Los Angeles are bracing for riots, racial attacks, you name it. Who knows what will happen if this takes place, because a lot of race-baiting black leaders have been out in the news saying that all hell's going to break loose if this officer isn't indicted. Listen, all I try to do is send reporters to the scene, gather the facts, and report the truth. Overall, most of the demonstrators have acted responsibly. There have been some groups mixed in with the demonstrators that have looted repeatedly and shot at police and thrown Molotov cocktails. And there has been a bad element that's piggybacked on this. That said, now with all the witnesses and the video, reportedly the grand jury scene, it's true that this gentleman who had just shook down and reportedly strong-armed someone at a convenience store, charged and attacked the officer. And so it looks like he should be no billed. And so if he's innocent, he should not be indicted. That said, we would say, hey, we're reporters in an area that was that the police had not even said move out of, and they went on orders, go ahead and shoot my reporters and Vice reporters and Al Jazeera reporters with rubber bullets and tear gas, and would chase my reporters down and assault them. So I got to say, a lot of shameful behavior by the police, shameful behavior by the looters. And we would catch looters and say, there's a looter right over here, and the police would run up with shotguns and say, I will effing kill you. In fact, the cop that did that got suspended. It was a Ferguson PD officer. It's just a mess. I mean, it's just a unprofessional mess all the way around. But with all this going on in our country, the racial divide that's been pushed by the Democrats and by Obama for 7 years, well, 8 years if you count the election, and MSNBC saying you're racist if you don't support Obamacare, you're racist if you aren't for gun control, turn your guns in, and Michael Moore saying white people that own guns have them because they're racist. He says that all the time. When he has armed bodyguards and own guns himself, they are the #1 fanners of the flame that have created this atmosphere. And watching how the federally trained police and even state police acted with the local police and sheriff's department tells me that if riots break out that need to be put down and need to be stopped, you have no right to go burn somebody's house or business down because of a verdict in a grand jury. Whether you think it's a proper verdict or not, you don't have a right to go randomly attack innocent people or burn down their businesses because of that. But separately, then if the police get out of hand and try to attack reporters or the general public or use it as a way to try to clamp down on the public, well, then that's a tyranny as well. So this is a real tightrope that's being walked here. And seeing what I saw on the live video feeds that we all watched here and that millions tuned in and watched with our reporters on the ground, and seeing just the across-the-board behavior is extremely worrisome, and this country is undoubtedly a powder keg. Now, police departments, the AP is reporting, are bracing across the country for a verdict tonight or the next few days. Our reporters are in Ferguson. They'll join us, as I said, at the bottom of the next hour. This may not be the big trigger, and I hope it's not. I hope there is no big trigger. But as the welfare checks continue to come, but don't have as big a buying value and basically become devalued pieces of junk, you're going to see more crime. I don't care if it's a black community, poor white community, Native American community, Hispanic community. You've got 50 million Americans on food stamps, about 100 million on assistance. And as the dollars devalue, this is already happening in Europe and other areas, as their currencies are devalued. There's a global race to devalue currencies right now by private central banks. As that happens, you will see crime increase. And because media has pushed racial division, people tend to form up into racial gangs like prison. Because, oh, then it's okay to go out and mug somebody because they're black and you're white, or they're white and you're black, or you're straight and they're gay. We all know how this psychology works. A lot of criminals aren't psychopaths or sociopaths. They rationalize that you're driving a nice Lexus, so you deserve to be carjacked. They rationalize that, you know, your wife was wearing a hot outfit, so she deserved to be raped. They're criminals, they're mentally ill, they have twisted minds, bad upbringings, whatever the case may be, but they rationalize what they're doing. They're not actual sociopaths or psychopaths. They're predators, though. And they will decide that what they're doing is okay in their own twisted logic. And I've talked about this in the last few weeks here on air. Almost everyone I know is being shaken down in Austin, Texas, even in nice areas, by folks. And last night I had a white guy come up and say, I need money right now. You need to give it to me, or, you know, things aren't going to go well. I was coming out of a grocery store at like 7 at night. This stuff's going on now. And I just ignored him, gave him a real serious look, got in the car. But the funny thing about it was, in the past, I wouldn't carry all the time. But lately, things have gotten so serious pretty much all the time. I sort of get in the truck where I've, you know, got a firearm. It's sad that we've gotten to that, but definitely crime's up. Definitely there's some issues going on. And a lot of it's racial. This was a white guy last night who did the same thing. He didn't say, give me money or I'll hurt you. He bugged his eyes out and said, you need to give me money. I'm not going to ask twice. I said, what's that mean? And he turned and walked away because I didn't basically start urinating on myself. But most people who've been domesticated and trained, I guess, would give the guy money. I had that happen a few weeks ago with a black guy came up, big black guy came up and did that and got real aggressive and bowed up and said, give me money right now. And I just basically, I didn't freeze up. I just got ready to fight, and he turned and walked off to find somebody who was an easier target. I just started getting ready. I've gotten the point. I just can't put up with it anymore. I just started getting ready. And it happened to Anthony Gucciardi, who's a writer here. It happened to one of our computer people who's done consulting for us in the past. Max Cabrera was on the news, getting beat up, broke his nose, 5 black guys, sexually assaulted his girlfriend on 6th Street for no reason. The police have the videos. They said no reason, just attacked him. So my point is, this country's a powder keg, and thug life has been promoted, not just in the inner city black communities, but across the board. It's a gang mentality has been promoted in young people. And that gang mentality has gotten into the military. It's gotten into police. It's a big problem. I mean, the